Hey guys, what is going on? Devon here. Hope you guys are having a good day so far, and welcome to another installment of Kingdom Hearts 101. I am joined, per usual, by the man, the myth, the beardless, Mr. Josh Music. Josh, say hello.
Meh. No, I did,
Yeah,
maybe...
well, technically you're kind of growing a beard again.
I got a shave again, I know.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, Devin, with your intro, what happens if it's nighttime?
Oh, you know, that I didn't really think about that, but I guess that's something to think about for now. But something else to think about, Josh, is today's game that we played. We are concluding our coverage of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep. For those of you who haven't checked out past episodes of KH101, please, for the love of God, do so. I'd love the support. But also, for Birth by Sleep, we've been covering it very differently in that across all three playable campaigns of the game are their own separate episodes of the podcast. So episode 6, we talk about Terra, as well as just our general early impressions. Last episode, we talked about Ventus's campaign, and now this episode, we will be talking about Aqua's campaign, as well as our overall thoughts on Birth by Sleep as a whole package. I can't speak tonight. It is 2 a.m. in the morning. We're just trying to get this done and sorted. But yeah, we're just going to get into it, talk about the game, what we thought, and of course our predictions for the next game we'll be getting into. So with that all said, Josh, what were your thoughts on Aqua's campaign of Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep?
Oh my god. I loved it. I liked how it just... And what I like too about, I noticed through the campaigns, like, not to rag so much on, like, Terra's campaign, but, like, I noticed, like, from Terra's to Ventus to Aqua, it felt like they were adding more and more. Mm-hmm. So Aqua had, like, a whole lot to her campaign going on with, you know, different characters from later games. Well, I guess I should say, if we're talking about release date, from the earlier games. Mm-hmm. But anyways, a bunch of other characters within the Kingdom Hearts series show up throughout her campaign, which is really cool to see. You get to see her side of the story, which is fantastic, because I think, honestly, she has the most to deal with. And I even mentioned it to Devon a few times, like, there's like a part where Ven's like, oh man, you're a Keyblade master, but then you just kind of let it get to your head. How could you treat Terra like crap? It's like, she's just trying to do her job. Like, yes, it comes off she's a bad guy, but like, now knowing exactly what she's been through, it's like, yeah. It was cool to see, like, finally a female character that you can play as, and that actually had some interesting characteristics. She seemed like a really stern person, but also, like, got a good heart. Like, I guess Kairi does do some stuff. I'm not too, are you able to play as Xion? And
in Days, technically yes, but like in the multiplayer mode of the game, I don't think in the actual story you can actually play as her.
Because I was gonna say, like, she'd be like the first official female character. Because like Kairi, like,
yeah, no, you can't play as Kairi in early games. So.
But I like that. Like, you actually see her fight, and it's like Kairi, kind of, she's cool, but like. Aqua's a badass, which I really love.
A badass waifu, one could say.
And it was nice too to see, because playing through all the other Kingdom Hearts games, yeah, magic's a thing, but like with Sora, you're still heavily relying on the Keyblade. Like, sure, you have some magic attacks, but like Aqua, as, you know, kind of a mage, you have, like, straight up want to have as many magic attacks as you can possibly get. And it was interesting to have that kind of play style as well with her. So I found it kind of refreshing, like, going through her campaign and playing kind of a totally unique play style that really hasn't been seen before. I mean, Ven's was a little bit different. It was definitely quicker paced. The one thing I will say, going through, now that I had some time to think about it, with Ven's campaign and finally going through Aqua's, was I like the combat system, but I definitely saw that there's flaws with it. Like, I do like the fact that it's a little bit more streamlined when it comes to like the commands, like attack commands, but it's definitely it's not as trim as it could be. Like I noticed, like for example, like items become totally useless in the fact that you could have multiple cures or Kiragas or like anything else. Like items in general become fairly useless pretty quick.
Yeah.
Which so I'm kind of glad they do bring the other system back in the later games. Like it just really, I guess it's hard to find like the perfect balance.
Yeah.
I still really like it. I kind of almost wish for this they would have just took, because items are just either made it so they should have balanced it a little bit better when it comes to the healing and just items in general. Like maybe they should have made it so they could have made it so like D-Link might have had more commands with characters that were specific to them, and you could only get them because a lot of their commands were just stuff you could find easily.
It was basically just like reskins of other attacks.
Yeah, so I found like I never used D-Links, barely. So if they made D-Links specific where you can only have a set action through the D-Link, like you cannot have it with your character by any means, that would have been more useful. And they should have limited like sure you can have cure, but maybe you only have it so you can only have one cure, so you're still using potions quite a bit. I'm not too sure. Like I can't say like what would work best, but like yeah, I could definitely use some tweaking. Still really liked it though, just not having to like being able to scroll through quickly to get to a certain action was a lot easier than having a shortcuts command and then being like, oh yeah, shit, did I assign Kiraga to triangle or circle if I change things up? And yeah. But yeah, campaign wise, fantastic. I really like seeing Aqua's perspective on everything and it finally all coming together, like the whole story. And combat wise, definitely we're finding it. Yeah, it's definitely flawed. I'm trying to think what else specifically with Aqua.
We tried out the command board for this one.
Yes, that was interesting. I liked it. Like, I definitely couldn't play like all the time, but if like I was playing a harder, that's the other thing too.
We played on proud mode for the first little bit.
We started on proud mode for a little while, and I liked it. But yes, it definitely would have taken a lot more time to complete. It definitely takes a few more tries. Yeah. I do like to the interactions between. I like that they at one point they didn't make it a main focus, but at one point they do kind of poke fun at the fact that Aqua is a girl, like the whole Olympus Coliseum.
The Olympus visit is just everybody catcalling Aqua.
Which I just like, it's kind of funny. Like I like that they finally, well, not finally, but I like that they do kind of mention that. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, there's that fact. But I like they didn't try to shove it down your throat. Like I didn't find like it was like, oh yeah, Aqua's a woman, and you're being constantly reminded about it like every time you go to a new world. It's like no, they did it once. It was they kind of poke fun at it a little bit here and there, and that was it. Which if like that, I feel like maybe because this was made like in 2010 and not the current year, like this is in my eyes like what a female character should be. You're not being force fed that she's a female. It's like, no, like just write her as a normal person that happens just to be a female. Like just no problem. And I really like that. I'm trying to think of.
I'm trying to think. We didn't do any of the. We tried out the Mirage Arena a little bit as Terra, but as far as like all the other secret bosses, we didn't really have time to get through. We didn't have time to like do Vanitas Remnant and stuff like that. But I did show Josh the. I just pulled it up on YouTube to show him the mysterious figure.
Holy cow!
Yeah, you want to talk about how balls to the wall the combat is in this game and how you kind of have to break the game in order to win. There's a good place to start.
Yeah. Definitely watching it, I was like, oh my god, you definitely have to stack.
Stack all your surges, stack all your Kiragas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's... And I kind of mentioned this to you. It was like, I think... Because I took a little bit of time to think of like... Because, yeah, Birth by Sleep is a lot of fun, and I'm not quite sure why people bitch about the gameplay so much. I think I narrowed it down as to Birth by Sleep's boss design is really weak. Because, like, I think... Say what you will about the combat of past games, especially Kingdom Hearts 2, but, like, the way they were all structured, you could definitely find a clear strategy of how to beat all the bosses. That didn't result in cheesing them like we did Maleficent Dragon in hard mode.
I think that was... You do bring up a good point. I think that was the issue with this game, combat-wise, is like, regular enemies, fine, no problem. They're regular enemies. You really don't need to do anything special or complex with them. But when it came to the bosses, you do bring up a good point I didn't even think about till now. Like, they did seem just not quite right. Like, either they were too easy or way too hard, not because of, like, skill. It's just, like, and you're right. Like, I had a few times where I was like, I can't tell what to do and what their next attack is.
Yeah, like reading
Vanitas.
their patterns is... Vanitas.
Oh my god, fighting that... Well, yeah, I gotta fight that man 4 times throughout the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I think 4?
Yeah, throughout the whole game, I'm trying... Because, yeah, you fight him twice... No, 3 times, technically, as Ventus. And then 1, 2... Technically 3 times again as Aqua. So 6 times across the game.
Yeah, and with his, like...
7 times! No, you do fight him once as Terra as well when you fight Master Xehanort. Yikes.
Yeah, so with his ability to, like, kind of teleport behind you, it's like there's only been, like, a handful of times where I had enough time to, like, dodge roll away. Like, I bet if I was more patient, like, hit him a couple times, then dodge roll, because, like, I was just, time-wise, I was like, I didn't want to, like, try to take, like, way too much time focusing on it too much. I bet, like, it would have been smoother and better if I did, but, yeah, like, stuff like that, it's like any other... I don't know. I just felt like you're right. The boss design is definitely pretty weak. The combat, I can kind of excuse like how it actually works because this was a portable console game at first, and it's a new studio, so trying new stuff, and it's not like it's unplayable. It's quite playable. Like I beat the game no problem. Like I bet at higher difficulties it might show, like as you said, it's not as crisp as the other games, but like in terms of like functionality it's 100% functional. It just needs a little bit cleaning up, and they should have just figured things out, like how to, like I said, items become almost completely useless, like yada yada yada.
I think there is one other game that we'll be playing that does use this system, so I think it is a little bit cleaner, so it should be a little bit easier to use. But I'm in agreement on that.
But yeah, in terms of the story, oh my god, just finally seeing like everything lining up and connecting. And I was talking to Devon, it's like, oh, like why wouldn't someone play this game before playing Kingdom Hearts 1, but the ending cutscene would just still ruin that, because you see some characters that you would be like, oh, what the heck's going on?
Yeah, because we had we had watched, because we went through after we were done Aqua's campaign, you unlocked the final episodes, we played through that, and then after that we watched the secret movie Blank Points, which that's, oh boy, that's probably like in my top 5 favorite cutscenes of Kingdom Hearts of all time. It's just so good. Yeah. I'm trying to think. What was your favorite world from Aqua's campaign? I don't know if we got around to that.
Favorite world. I kind of like seeing Radiant Gardens actually, because the fact like you see Kyrie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just for some reason I liked it with going through as Aqua this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also did kind of like excuse me, got the burps.
Yeah, that's alright.
Neverland was pretty cool. I don't know why. I like the idea that you actually kind of had involvement with pixie dust, but like not getting just glide. I kind of like that aspect of like that world, kind of actually using a little bit of level design. So I guess actually like the overall one would be maybe Deep Space, because that one is completely different from, like, in terms of story, completely different from Ven and Terra. Like, you meet up with, like, you see a whole new character that you would not.
Yeah, the Grand Councilwoman, yeah.
Yeah, you totally do not see her at all through Ven and Terra's campaign, so I guess that one would probably be the best in terms of, like, hey, we actually added something kind of new to this one for Aqua's playthrough.
Yeah. Also, Gantu's a great villain.
Yes, Gantu is he's just big bone, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, kind of like that's the other thing too. I noticed about this game. It did have a little bit of platforming. Not a whole lot, but it did have a little bit, which was kind of nice to see that they're bringing platforming back in. Kind of glad. I wish, because the items are totally useless in this game. The only thing you can kind of get, which is somewhat useful, well, I shouldn't say somewhat, the only thing that you get that is useful is crystal shards for melding stuff, melding commands. I wish they did that with the other games going on forward. Is you don't have to have it super complex, but instead of having chests just out in the open on a 2D plane, like, that was the one thing from Kingdom Hearts 2. Was like, oh my god, they went from tons of platforming in the first game to absolutely no platforming. It's like, okay, like, yes, but like, it might as well just have enemies drop the items in. It's like, there's just no point in putting it in a chest, because I'm not excited to open the chest. It's like,
that is something that they actually fix in later games, is that the platforming is much better, because the level design is a little bit better, and your moveset, especially in the next game that we're going to play, just fixes everything. So that'll be...
Yeah, that was the other thing too. Like, it was kind of cool to see the way that the characters all moved a little bit different, like the fact that Aqua cartwheels and stuff that. Like, that was kind of unique too, to see that all the characters had a little bit of more, like Aqua. I don't know if it was just me, but she seemed to move faster as well. I don't know. She seemed kind of tied with Ven, but definitely Terra was the slowest moving. Because he's just brute. He's just a brick house. But yeah, and that's the other thing too. Like, I like overall of this game is the fact that there is 3 playable characters and 3 campaigns that, sure, yes, they follow the same general story, but they all have like their different views and stuff like that. Like, it for a portable game, like, I think this is a really good idea. It's like reusing the assets that we have for the most part, and voice acting and like everything else, but we're still adding like a decent amount of gameplay for people, so they're getting their money's worth. Like, as a company, that's a smart decision, and as like a consumer and a guy playing this as a fan now as Kingdom Hearts, it's like, yeah, this is awesome. Like, this is totally smart. They still needed to polish some stuff up, but as you said earlier, the development team, this was their first try. So overall, I think it's a pretty good first try. Just hope going forward, did they come back and work on other games, or just...
this development team, they are the new Kingdom Hearts team, so they have done every other game after this.
Sweet. So they've obviously, because I've heard the third one is the the cat's meow.
Yeah.
So they obviously have learned from this one and moved forward and hopefully improved on pretty much everything that they can.
Nice. So I guess then in that case, we should probably move into our next topic of discussion. Josh, as a whole, what would you say your opinion of Birth by Sleep is?
I love it. I think this is so far probably my favorite overall. Well, as I'll say, this is my favorite. I don't know. That's a toughie to say. I don't know why. Like, I feel like this is kind of like a guilty pleasure for some reason. Like, I know it's not like the best that I've played so far, but I just really enjoy it for some reason. I don't know if I just like really enjoy the characters. I think that's the biggest thing. Terra, Aqua, and Van are really interesting. And seeing like Xehanort as an old withered man, just like I don't know, just something about this game in particular, I really have like a soft spot for. So yeah, I really like it overall. I know I'd say out of the portable console games, it's between that and Chain of Memories, but I would say it's a little bit better than Chain of Memories because at least it's not as well. For one thing, the combat system is way better.
Yeah.
Like,
at least it's not cards.
Yeah, and it's a little bit less monotonous because Chain of Memories, you're literally going through the same white walled map all the time. So it's, but I mean, Chain of Memories has better characters. Like it has more characters and they're all unique and interesting. Like, not saying this one doesn't, but like you definitely get a lot more character interaction that seems a lot more interesting in Chain of Memories compared to this one. Kingdom Hearts 2, I'd say, is still the best overall game, but this one, I don't know. Like like I said, it has a really soft spot for me for some reason. I don't know, maybe because it just like it really explains to like everything that's you can like with this game. You're like, oh, everything's starting to come together. Like not that it. Oh, I'm not saying it didn't beforehand, but like I feel like you could play this game except for the ending cutscenes. You could play this game and just be like, oh, I get everything about Kingdom Hearts, and like if you skip the last cutscene and just got into it, like you'd finally understand like what's going on if you didn't at first playing through the first and second game. Like like even without playing Chain of Memories, you'd still be able to be like, oh, okay, so these characters did show up beforehand. You can kind of piece together what happened. Yeah, overall, I would say it's a solid game. I don't know what I'd give it out of like 10. I don't know, like a. I'd have to be real. I think like maybe I'd say an overall 8, but definitely the combat's like probably like a 6. It's fun, but definitely needs to be worked on.
Yeah.
So story wise, definitely like an 8 or a 9, 8.5 maybe. Combat 6. Level design. Probably like a 7 to 8.
Nice.
I can't really think of anything else.
Yeah.
Gameplay, like besides combat, I guess was just fine. Like movement was fine, so like 8 or 9.
Cool.
But yeah, overall enjoyed it.
That's cool. Yeah, I also have a real soft spot for Birth by Sleep. Like it's. Yeah, the combat I'm also very mixed on because like I like the way the game feels. I think the command deck is a really neat system, but the boss design just needed work. But I think the overall story I think is really interesting. I think if I had to put it this way, I think it would probably go like Terra had the best story, Ven had the best plot, and Aqua had the best character development. Because I think Aqua overall is probably the best character of all three, just the way her story develops and stuff like that. I think the plot bombs that are thrown out in Ventus's campaign is the best. Like, just Vanitas' evil Sora, that always threw me for a loop. And I love how that's also explained, like how, so apparently, so like in the prologue, when Ventus was dying, and his heart was split, that newfound heart that monologued at the beginning that was talking to him, that was Sora being born. and then like when his heart went there and his heart healed, and that's why Vanitas looks like Sora. And now that Ventus is in a coma, his heart is now sleeping inside Sora. Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because I just thought of something too with Aqua's campaign. She does have really good character development because the fact that she comes off as like really stern and strict and by the book, and then I just thought of like Deep Space, the fact that she initially is like, okay, yeah, we've got two fugitives that I should stop, but then realizes Experiment 626, aka Stitch, he's actually kind-hearted, or at least has like the ability to like have friends. So therefore, like, he can't be all evil. Why am I trying to kill him? Or, well, not kill him, but why am I trying to capture him? And, like, you see a little bit of character development, like, even through that short section. Like, if Aqua initially showed up at that world from the beginning, she totally would have been like, yeah, I don't think I can trust, like, what this guy's doing. But, yeah, I agree with what you're saying, too. Like, Ventus has the best plot points. Yeah.
And then I just say like Terra has the best story because like it's not necessarily like I think just the way that it moves and sort of Terra's arc, the way it's pulled off of how like he's like seeking validation and that he's like wants to be powerful and seeing good in his eyes and all that, and how he's just led down the bad path as Xehanort. I think it's really fascinating to watch. Plus, I just get a kick out of the Star Wars parallels all the time. So, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else to say about Birth by Sleep because like this is really fun. I'm glad that we split it up. It gave us more time to really delve into it because I think this is one of the more polarizing games. But I'm glad that we both have a fairly positive outlook on it. So,
yeah, like. There's no problem with liking a game that it's like I said, it's a little bit of a guilty pleasure. It's not all bad, but I could definitely tell it's, as you said, not as. I can understand why people might not like it as much. But yeah, overall, I still like it.
And I think another thing that Birth by Sleep does really well, especially in its story, is lay the groundwork of where the series is going to go from here. Specifically talking about the secret movie Blank Points, because. Holy shit, we got a lot of info from that. Basically that Aqua's been trapped in the realm of darkness for 10 years and she meets Ansem the Wise because he's alive. He survived the blast at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2 and basically tells her that, oh yeah, the worlds have been falling to shit, but Sora's gonna come back and save her. And Aqua was like, holy shit! Sora, that little kid I met all those years ago, he's out there saving the world. It's amazing. And now we see all the people that Sora needs to save. Roxas, Axel, and Xion, Aqua, Ventus, Terra, Naminé, all those people that Sora needs to save. And at the end, we finally see Sora at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2. He's read the letter from King Mickey, and now he has his new mission. Basically, we have the groundwork for Kingdom Hearts 3. We know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you also bring up a good point. I guess that's also why I really like this game, because if you kind of couldn't figure it out beforehand, which, like, I had my suspicions and my guesses, but this game, like, at the end, as you said, like, it tells you, hey, this is... Because I always thought about that. I was like, what is Xehanort's goal? I understand he wants to get to Kingdom Hearts, but, like, why? But now, like, after reading the reports and seeing, like, the endings and stuff like that, you realize, like, oh, shit, like, he tried to get to Kingdom Hearts one time already, and it failed, and he's trying to artificially get to it, which is the shittier way of doing it, but because he wants power. Like, he wants power. And
well, not even like, power, he just wants equilibrium. He's just like, oh, the light has like, shone across the land for too long, like, light and darkness need to exist equally, so I'm gonna flood the world with just a little bit more darkness. So it's really fascinating.
But yeah, you still get to see exactly, because beforehand I was like, I get Xehanort's the bad guy, but like, what exactly is his true motivations? I couldn't really exactly pin it beforehand. With this game, it's like, oh, now I see exactly like why and what exactly his motivations are in terms, and also exactly like what Sora needs to do and his goals now. Because it's like, yeah, sure, save the world, but like, who do you have to get and who do you have to contact? It's like, now, okay, well, shit, like he's got a lot of people he's got to save. So yeah.
So yeah, we have the groundwork for Kingdom Hearts 3. We're all set, and so everybody assumed that after Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts 3 was the next game up. No, we got one more game, the final game in the handheld trilogy to tackle, and so we're gonna move on to our next topic and talk about the next game that we will be tackling, Kingdom Hearts Coded. So a little bit of history. As we mentioned earlier, Coded was announced around the same time as Days and Birth by Sleep, and it was going to be released on mobile phones over in Japan. So it started releasing in June of 2009 across 8 monthly episodes. However, it only stayed in Japan until I think the last episode was out in 2010, around the same time that Birth by Sleep came out. When the game was going to be ported to North America, however, it went the same route as Rechain of Memories. The game was rebranded and released on the Nintendo DS as Kingdom Hearts Recoded. On the Nintendo DS, all 8 episodes were packaged into one single game, tying the narrative arc a little bit closer into the mainline story. And that will be the next game that we will be tackling. However, we're not actually going to be playing the game, of course. Instead, we are going to be watching all the HD cutscenes as part of the PS4 collection. So we don't have to play this one. So it'll be quick to get this next one out, hopefully.
Is there another one after this? Because I thought you said there's another gameplay style similar to this game.
We're gonna get to that, but so Coda will be the next one. It will be this one is actually kind of interesting. This one takes place directly after Kingdom Hearts 2, and will focus on our Disney cast. It'll be focusing on Mickey, Donald, and Goofy on a specific adventure.
Nice.
And so it'll be really fascinating to see. But talking about this game, for our next episode, Josh, what are your predictions for Kingdom Hearts Recoded?
Well, now that you mentioned it's about the boys.
It is about the boys.
I have a feeling it might be like they're going to try to get maybe a little bit more powerful, because in this game we get to see Mickey was under Yensid as kind of like a protege a little bit, kind of, sort of. So I have a feeling maybe they're going to go try searching for maybe some answers on an easier way to defeat Xehanort. Maybe they're going to try to find ways to kind of like get stronger. And maybe they'll bump into the darkness along the way. I'm just trying to think. You said this happens right after...
Yeah, it happens right after Kingdom Hearts 2.
I don't think Xehanort's gonna... well, maybe. I don't think he's gonna show up as... And if he does, maybe it's not gonna be as prevalent. I think they're gonna probably bump into something else, because I have a feeling like they might want to... I just have a feeling. I got a feeling that Xehanort's not gonna show up because he's already been dealt with, at least for the most part, in Kingdom Hearts 2. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling like Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are going to have some other type of enemy to worry about. It might be... Maybe there'll be some more nobodies that they have to worry about. I mean, Organization 13 technically had a 14th member at one point. What's there to stop them from having other nobodies that maybe aren't part of the organization but are strong enough to maybe lead a different group of some sort with their own motives? Who knows? I just have a feeling Xehanort's just not going to have much of a impact in this game. I feel like he's been the focus of this game. It'd be kind of weird to have him as another... Have it,
like, back to back, like...
Yeah, it would be kind of weird.
Get Xehanort fatigue.
Yeah, well, it's true. Like, I have a feeling like they just... Because of Xehanort fatigue, they'll have him in here or as much. I'm hoping we see a little bit... Actually, I'm kind of excited for this one, too, now that you said it's those three, because there's one thing about the regular Kingdom Hearts series is you see a little bit of character development between the three, but not a whole lot. So it'll be interesting to see maybe some struggles along the way, other than Goofy getting hit by a boulder and temporarily falling asleep.
Yeah.
So it'll be kind of interesting to see some struggles along the way and some character development. But yeah, I have a feeling maybe it's going to be something to deal with other types of nobodies that aren't part of the organization, or maybe they were at one point, but like split off to do their own thing. Because really, I don't know, unless they come up with a fourth type of enemy. I swear to God, if they do, I'll be done. I'll be like, I'm just glad that this is just cutscenes and I'm not playing it, because I'm so...
You just want to throw the controller. Just
yeah.
Like, I'm done.
It's like, okay, we've got Heartless, Nobodies, and the Unversed, although the Unversed shouldn't be showing up anywhere else anytime soon. But it's like, oh my God, if there's a fourth type in this game, I swear to Sora. But yeah, overall, I'm excited though, because I've been thinking like, yeah, it'd be nice to see. At least I was thinking Donald and Goofy's like, I want to see more character development besides them just screaming for help occasionally and healing. Yeah,
somebody come quick.
Sora. I can't really do it.
I can't even really do it that well. But yeah, that'll be the next game that we're gonna tackle. Hopefully it'll be out pretty soon. We do have a little bit of time before our schedules get hella busy. So who knows? You might see Recoded's episode soon. But with that, I think we're gonna close the episode here. Thank you, Josh, as always, for joining me.
Yeah, it's always been a pleasure. I'm really enjoying the series. I'm basically a fan now.
Yes.
So yeah, he'll have to bother me once after we have this stuff done. Once the new series comes out, he'll have to bother the heck out of me to, hey Josh, the game came out, come over and play it.
Yes, buddy. But first we got to get through all the other games first, cause I'm really glad you're enjoying this, and I'm really excited for you to experience what we're going up against soon.
I'm just hoping like I could still follow the story by then. Like I like at first, if you kind of just, I wouldn't say not pay attention, but like not really focus on the information, it can be overwhelming. But like if you kind of take another second to think about things, you can follow the story. But like there's been a few times at first I was like, whoa, what? What? Hold on, yeah. What?
I know you were really like that when Chain of Memories came around. I was just like, then, what is going on?
And then it's like, now I think about it, it's like, oh, the eureka moment hits.
Yeah, we talked about that. It's like something I really like about the series is like just especially with something like Birth by Sleep, where it's like you watch something knowing the context of what's gonna happen. It's just like, oh, that's awesome. Like I think that's really cool. But yeah, I think we're going to cut this episode here. Thank you, as always, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. We should hopefully have the next episode soon. But if you want to know about that, just follow me on Twitter, and I'll keep you all active on that. But until then, that is our episode. If you like this video, like the video, share it with your friends, and be sure to follow Shadow Shuffler Productions on both Twitter and Instagram for more information on yours truly. And until next time, I'd say that's about it. Josh, you have any final remarks?
Aqua is bae.
Aqua is bae.
Yep, totally.
I don't think I've ever heard a more true statement in my life.
Kyrie, I'm sorry, but you lost your place on the throne. Not even. I think I always kind of like nominate, but anyway.
Anyway, yeah. Aqua is bae. Yeah, that's true. Thank you as always for watching. May your heart be your guiding key. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.